Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be building a coffee table out of resin and maple. So let me show you what I got here. Okay, so I have my frame all put together right here. I have everything kind of mocked up right now. I'm not going to be using these big of 2x4s to have everything clamped down. Actually, I've got 5 points here, and that should level all my boards out and prevent the epoxy from going underneath these pieces of maple here. So I've got my smaller pieces of 2x4 cut up right there for my points of contact on my box here. And the next step I'm going to do since I have everything mocked up, I'm going to tape this whole thing up with tie-back tape. That'll prevent all the epoxy resin from sticking to the tape. So once it's done, I can just pop it right out. And yeah, so stick around and I will show you what it looks like after I get to the next step. Alright guys, I got the box all lined with tie-back tape. That'll prevent my epoxy resin from sticking once I get it all poured. I've got it lined probably about 1.5 inches or so above my box here. The wood I'm going to be using is about almost 1 inch thick, so I'm not going to be nearly going this high, so pretty safe there. The wood I got milled about 3 years ago, so it's nice and dry. It's maple. It's slightly spalted, and I think it's going to look really pretty once I get all the resin poured on here, and it's going to look pretty good. So let's get these pieces of wood inside the box, and we'll see how it looks, and fix anything we need to fix real fast, and pour the resin. Okay guys, it's almost time to get our resin mixed up and get our pigments mixed in and pour. So with this process, it's going to take about 8 to 10 minutes to fully mix our resin and hardener. This is going to be a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's going to be two parts resin, 1 part hardener. And let me show you what they gave me for this project over at Stone Coat. This is actually where I got this product. These guys are based in my hometown of Grants Pass. They're on YouTube if you guys want to check them out. Stone Coat countertops. I met the owner probably about a year and a half ago. Super nice guy. His employees really treat you good over there. They answer any question that you have. So let me go ahead and show you what we have here. So my project is fairly larger, so we have 2 gallons of resin here, and then I have 2 half gallons of hardener because it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'm probably going to start out with 1 gallon of the resin and then half a gallon of hardener for right now to see how that fills my the voids in the project. They also gave me a top coat right here. I believe that's a 1-to-1 ratio, but I can double check on that. They got me this trowel here for the top coat. That's to smooth everything over and to get everything nice and covered. And they also provided these 2 paintbrushes here, so you can kind of coat the edges of your project. Once the resin kind of flows over, you can kind of use that to smooth everything over. And also you can use this as like a blotching method. If you're doing like multiple pigments, you can use that, and it really turns out pretty awesome. They've got tons of tutorials on their channel, so check them out. Stone Coat Countertops on YouTube. For this project, the guy recommended I get 2 of these packets here. I believe he says one of these guys would probably do 1 gallon, depending on how. Let me get that in the right lighting here. Sorry, my garage is pretty dark. But depending on how translucent you want it, you can add more or less. So I decided to get 2 of these guys, and I went over to my local Home Depot and I picked up one of the largest buckets they had, mixing buckets, with a stir stick. This guy is a multiple use stir stick, like multi-tool actually. So if you guys are looking for something multi-purpose tool right here, you don't have to buy or pick up those cheap wooden stir sticks. You can use, it's actually good for heavy duty stir stick, You can use that to clean out your paint rollers, as a spatula for 1 quart, 1 gallon, and a can lip opener. So that's pretty cool. That'll last me a while. So also in conjunction with those pigments here, I decided I'm probably going to use some of this white spray paint as kind of a like an effect in the water for, like, it's going to be a river table, so I figured I just didn't really want to solid blue river, so I'm going to use this guy here to see if I can make some kind of like waves, or some kind of white water. But anyway, we'll see how it turns out. Alright guys, let's get these guys mixed up. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio, so I'm going to do 1 gallon of resin and 1 gallon or half gallon of hardener. And if that's not enough, I guess I will mix as much as I need out of the other epoxy and hardener. And I'm excited, guys. Let's see how this turns out. Alright guys, here's the 1 part of epoxy, 1 gallon. Kind of anxious and nervous about this. Never done anything like this on a large scale, so let's see how it turns out. I hope it turns out good. Don't let fear stop you from doing something you really want to do. You're not going to learn unless you try. Hopefully this will be enough. Okay. Now I guess we would add our blue color. I mean, we got to mix it up anyway, so might as well add some now. Okay, just stir it out a little bit and see how it looks. Once you add it, you can't unadd it. Sorry for the wobbly table. Boy, that's an awesome metallic look. Alright guys, I'm going to mix this for another 10 minutes and we'll get to pouring. Alright guys, got it all mixed up. That was about 9 minutes or so that I mixed this, so I'm pretty happy with the way that color is. I think that's plenty dark enough for me. I like how it has some kind of metallic, like white, blue metallic look to it. So this is actually called Crater Lake, I believe it is. So definitely love this pigment here. So let's go ahead and pour this and see how it looks. I'm pretty excited about it. Alright, pretty nervous. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to start with these little islands first. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Oh man, that's beautiful. Alright, I'm going to pour this guy here. That's looking good there. Let's pour this other material. Almost perfect, actually. Seems a little bit higher on that side. Okay, so gonna have to lift that side up a tad. Yeah, that's what's going on. All right. Gonna have to lift this side up a little bit, but I've got more than enough material to work with here. And this stuff won't dry super fast. It'll fully set in 24 hours. But right now I've got some a little bit of time to play with it a little bit. All right, I think we're pretty good there. Got a shim underneath to kind of level things out. Well, I think I got plenty of material, which makes me happy because I've got another project. Okay, kind of spilling over there, but I'm a little high on this side. All right, guys, as you can see, I had kind of a hang up here that I was too excited. I wanted to get everything poured, and well, my piece wasn't exactly level. So I wound up, well, obviously I poured too much, but my boards were semi-warped, which I already knew that. I just I didn't anticipate it being this big of a problem. So what I'm going to have to do is let this dry. Of course, I have to get the air bubbles out, and I'll show you guys the technique that they recommend to do that. I get the air bubbles out. These pieces of wood that are on the resin that's surrounding it, that's going to be a problem. I'm probably going to have to find someone with a sander or a large plane that I can run this thing through, because that's going to be a big mess. It's not the end of the world. It's still going to turn out nice. It just means a little bit more work on my end. So, like I said, this is my first time doing something this big. It was my fault. Yeah, it's pretty much my fault. The boards were kind of cupped a little bit, so they weren't exactly even. I'm kind of a beginner woodworker, so learn from my mistakes. Really all you can do is actually just start doing this kind of stuff and learning from your screw ups. So don't let this stop you. But let me go show you how to get the air bubbles out of this thing. So what they recommend is a torch. This heats up the bubbles and makes them come to the surface and gives you a nice clean finish. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you guys right now. Okay guys, it's been hardening now for just about an hour. I tried to get all the air bubbles out, but I'm having some issues with my propane tank over there. But that's okay, because all the bubbles on the top here, this is all going to have to get sanded down, because as you can see, it's a little high on the side, well, a lot high on the side. So I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding to level all that out, and all those little bubbles will be gone. But man, this thing, if you can feel this, I mean, if you guys could, we're here, this is like your stovetop. I mean, it is hot. So,
Hi.
this is my daughter, Caitlin.
Hi.
Oh, you're in the shadow, Caitlin. There you are.
Hi, I'm 6 years old.
Yep, you're 6. She wanted to be in the video with me, so I told her she can be in my outro. So, anyways, guys, here is the final product after the pour. It looks freaking awesome. So, I mean, it just looks beautiful. I love that metallic blue that they had mixed in with there, with that the pigment that I got. So I'll definitely be using more of that. But anyway, this takes 24 hours to fully harden, and it takes 1 week at this depth to fully cure. So I won't be doing anything with this for about a week. After that, I will be probably looking for someone who has like some kind of industrial sander that I could run this through and get this nice and smooth. And then I'll do my top coat pour. And you know what's nice about this spilling over like this is that a lot of these holes are going to be filled up. So when I get my top coat, I'm not going to have to worry about very many of these bubbles coming up. So anyways, guys, if you like my video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you think I've earned it. This is one of my first major woodworking projects, so hopefully one of many. You got to start somewhere, right? You know. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video. This will be part 1 of I don't know how many. And all right, see you on the next one.